Welcome back to Match Action Live, guys. We are at Narendra Modi Stadium for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup final. New Zealand captain Mitchell Santner won the toss and chose to ball first. Well, we said we have to bat first in the pre-match, but they chose to bowl and it caused them. India responds with an absolute batting storm, finishing at 255 for 5 wickets in 20 overs. Leading the charge was Sanju Samson, smashing 89 off of just 42 balls, while Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma also added explosive 50s. India hits 19 sixes in this innings, possibly the biggest batting display ever in the T20 World Cup final. Cheta, let's break this innings down. First question, Cheta. India finished with 255 for 5. What do you think about that?
Chetar 255 for 5 in a World Cup final is like catching a record haul out at sea. It is indeed the highest ever in a T20 World Cup final and the first time crossing 250 in a final. Chetar, it's like a houseboat racing the monsoon wind. New Zealand now faces a storm of a chase.
Is this now the highest total ever in T20 World Cup final?
Absolutely, Chetar. This is now officially the highest total ever in a T20 World Cup final. No team has crossed 250 in a final before. So, Chetta, India's innings today is like saying a new fishing record, historic and daunting.
Where does this rank in the history of T20 World Cup knockouts match? I mean, 255 in the finals.
Chetta, this innings is right at the top of the pile. Across all T20 World Cup knockout matches, semis, finals, no one had hit 250 before. So, Mone, India's total today is like sailing into uncharted seas. Truly the highest knockout mountain climbed.
Chira, your favorite Sanju Samson stormed to 89 out of 42 balls. He scored under 210 with strike rate, absolutely destroying New Zealand bowling attack. Was this the greatest innings ever played in T20 World Cup final?
Chetta, as a Sanju Samson fan, I'd say this was pure elegance, like a houseboat gliding through the field. Statistically, it's one of the greatest T20 World Cup final knocks ever. A strike rate over 210, under pressure, in a final. Chetta, this is like a once in a lifetime catch. For me, it's right up there with the best.
Now the question is for New Zealand is 256 runs to win. Historically, the highest success chase in T20 World Cup history is 230 runs. So Cheta, chasing 250 runs in a World Cup knockout has basically never been done. Is this really a realistic possible?
Chetta chasing 256 in a final is like rowing against a raging monsoon tide. Historically, it's near impossible. No team has chased 250 plus in such a stage. While New Zealand is a disciplined side, Chetta, this would be nothing short of a miracle. So, realistically, it's like chasing the horizon. Very unlikely.
Right now, the betting market has India as a favorite around 60 to 30%. I thought, I mean, it was a bit less. For me, it was like 80 to 90%, but the betting market says it's around 60 to 70% with the odds roughly 1.4 to 1.5 after the massive total. Seta, do you agree with those odds after the Samsung's 5?
Chetta, I'd say 60 to 70% odds are conservative, like underestimating a calm sea before a storm. With a target of 256, I'd say India is more like 80% favorites, because a chase of this scale is rare. So, Chetta, yes, I'd say India is in an even stronger position than the odds suggest.
But here's the interesting twist. New Zealand actually had 3-0 record against India in previous T20 World Cup matches. So, Cheta, does this innings from Samson finally breaks that jinx?
Chetta, I'd say Samson's innings is like breaking through a storm. That 3-0 record New Zealand had is like an old fishing net. Today, Samson tore right through it. Unless New Zealand pulls off a miracle, this innings will be remembered as the jinx breaker. So, Chetta, I'd say the tide has turned. Samson's magic might have finally broken that record.
I mean, the required run rate for New Zealand is 12.8 per over. I mean, in the World Cup final, with that kind of pressure, is that even remotely achievable?
Chetta, a required rate of 12.8 in a final is like rowing against a storm. In theory, it's possible, like catching fish in rough seas, but in reality, Chatta, it's near impossible. In World Cup final pressure, that run rate is like trying to sail against the wind. Unless New Zealand plays a once in a lifetime innings, it's not realistically achievable.
Finn Allen just played once in a lifetime innings of 33 balls, 100 runs. He could play that again. It just a while back in the semi-finals, right? So,
Chetta Finn Allen did play a blinder recently, like catching a giant fish in one cast. But to repeat that in a final, with such a huge target, is like hoping for lightning to strike twice. It's possible but rare, Chetta. India will know that one Finn Allen innings doesn't make this chase easy. So while anything can happen, Chetta, it's still like chasing a tide that's far out.
okay, the finals, Sida, final prediction. Still India the favorite, right?
Chetta, absolutely. With a mountain of 256 runs to defend, India is still the favorite, like a houseboat anchored firmly. Unless New Zealand pulls off something miraculous, the tide favors India. So, Chetta, my prediction stays. India to lift the trophy. Manassorapana, Vijayamurappa. When the mind is steady, victory is steady.
Alright, guys, that's the mid innings analysis here on Match Action Live. India has set a massive target of 256 runs, and New Zealand now has one of the toughest chases in T20 World Cup history. Stay with us, we'll be back after the chase to break down the results.